Okay, hopefully I don't wind up with the annoying random mic tick, which I got from my last video. I did make one minor change, which was to crank up the sound quality in OBS, which stands for Open Broadcast Studio, which is what I use for recording as well as some live streaming. It's a free open source program, but it's not always all that user friendly. Unless you're like a super nerd, then it'll be easy for you. So we're gonna review this mic here. Mic here. God damn it. So we're gonna review this pen here. And me being blind, even with glasses, I need a little bit of assistance to see it. It's a Zebra Clip-On Multi. And what it's somewhat reminiscent of, if you're old, you remember Bic used to make a 4-color multi-pen. So you had blue, green, red, and black, which this does too. Now this is a little bit different because in addition to those 4 colors, it also has a mechanical pencil, which you advance by clicking on it. For Christ's sake. Don't tell me this isn't going to work. Okay, so we got it to come out. Alright, great. So it has a 0.5 millimeter mechanical pencil, and the leads... I'm fucking up so bad on this. What the fuck? So it has a 0.5 mechanical pencil, and the pen tips is 0.7, which normally I don't care for because, at least in my experience, with the exception of rollerballs, they kind of skip, and you have to press down a little harder on them to get ink flow. So no, I haven't been very fond. But with a little experimenting earlier, I found even though these are not rollerball, they're just plain old ballpoint pens, they get really nice flow. I mean, of course, I'll start this and it won't work, but they did when I tested it. So we're just going to do a little short sketch, and the title is Blue Balls. And it's a little harmless innuendo. Here, if you have like tiny kids, maybe they shouldn't watch this, but anybody like teen or close to teens, it's not a big deal. There's no actual pornography here. It's just implications. This thing, stupid board keeps flipping up. Essentially, to look right on this camera, the board's kind of on a teeter-totter at the end of my computer desk. Unfortunately, I don't have a really nice dedicated drawing table like a lot of YouTubers that do art. I'm just a po-ass. I mean, my computer desk is basically my drawing desk. So let's see. The question here is, how big do I want to make the big balls? This is such a pain in the ass process. And it's not really boomerism, because I see live streamers and every fucking one of those guys has tech issues up the ass. It's like one guy streams in his car and there's always some dead spot. So he gets all jerky and drops out until he drives past that. That's Turtle Boy. If you're local New England, you may or may not have heard of him. He's now deceased, but Scott Adams, and he was a really smart guy. He drew Dilbert. He had like endless sound problems. I think off screen he just got a shit ton of money, or he wound up hiring some professional guy to run a sound for him, because every video he'd like fade out. He'd be talking and there was no sound, or horrible sound, or diminished sound. I think in his case, and a lot of YouTubers with money, is I think I've mentioned this before, but they buy really expensive gear. Like spend hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands. They don't just have a mic. They have a mic going to a mixing board. And you got to know what the fuck you're doing to run that. You can't just be smart. It takes a little experience. You know, it's like a professional interface. Whereas, you know, if you just spent like a couple of $100 on a plug and play USB mic, you wouldn't have that problem, most likely. Now, I can't really. I used to be able to say I had no sound problems, so I get that fucking random tick. So now I have sound problems too. And I really don't know whether it's, you know, OBS, Windows 11, the mic. It could be fucking anything. There's just so many different issues. It just recently cropped up, which is so annoying. Because the mic used to just work, and it's like, what's different? There's nothing different. I didn't change anything, so why the fuck is deciding to do this now to aggravate me? Not that I haven't had endless tech problems. You can hear me griefing about tech issues every fucking stream I've ever done. Well, like I said, this should be easier to do because I'm just recording. Live stream adds another level of complexity. And from what I've observed from other YouTubers and not just myself, you tend to get even more errors and tech problems. But like I said, if you're just recording, you're not immune to that. Especially if you're using Windows 11, which is a horrible operating system. Horrible. So anyway, let's get back to the subject of this pen and blue balls. So usually when I ink something, the first thing I do is I'll sketch it out in pencil because you can erase pencil, so it makes correcting mistakes very easy. Whereas you fuck up with pen, you can't erase that. Basically, if you want to make a serious correction, you can try whiteout, which a lot of the old school guys actually use. Or what I do is just give up on traditional at that point and go digital. So I'll fix it in either GIMP or Krita. I used to say fix it in Photoshop, but that's poison. Never give Adobe your money. It's just a rip-off. Software as a service. So you got to rent it forever. And they got even worse. Not only do you have to rent it forever, you have to sign over permission so that AI can steal your art. So fuck them and the horse they rode in on. Adobe Photoshop, it's not even worth stealing if you can pirate it. Just get GIMP and Krita, depending on what you want to do. GIMP is good for basic photo editing, and Krita is much better if you're actually doing digital art. So on to big balls. And my brain was not operating very quickly. How big do I want to make the balls? Okay, maybe this is good. This. Oh, fucking. Okay, and I want them near the bottom. And over here. And I'm going to redo this. Let's see. Where do I want the second ball? Do I want it in front? Or do I want a little bit in the back? See, this normally wouldn't be much of a thought process. It's very simple. But I'm super tired right now, so even the easiest thing becomes just an exercise. And let's see, how big do I want the second ball? How far away do I want it? I wish I had a live streaming and had an actual audience. Like the popular YouTubers, they can say, hey, what should I do? How do you want something? And the crowd will just vote on it. And then they get the grift going. It's like, hey, how about you give me some super chat money? How about you donate to Patreon or my equivalent to that. You know, buy me a coffee. Gimme, 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 gimme. I'm doing this all for you. I mean, they're entertaining. I mean, they're not all entertaining, but some of them are. But it really is a fucking grift. Okay, so we'll put this back here. Yeah, that works. Usually I gotta switch, pencils to pens. In fact, a lot of times I use a bunch of different pencils for shading. But I'm demonstrating this, it's an all-in-one thing. So the only thing we're gonna use is this. So let's see here. So we've got the balls drawn. The next thing we're going to do is the salami. And I don't think I have to explain what the salami represents. Okay. Dink. So I guess we're not going to get super duper alignment here. Stop flipping. That's very annoying. Okay, how beefy do I want this? We'll go metric, because metric is 6 centimeters. Yeah, nice and fat. Nice beefy salami. So make little marks. Actually 5. It's 5 centimeters, but it's big enough. Because we went up there. Stop tipping, stop tipping. You're so fucking annoying. Six. Get a nice bulge here. And this pen doesn't have an eraser, so just bring in this pinky. Oh, get the fuck out of the way. Okay, here's the small ones. They're too small for big balls. Oops. Nope, they're too small for this too. Okay, hopefully this works. Just fucking work, will you? Everything's an insufferable argument. Okay, that looks good. It's a little short, but it is what it is. Fuck you. Alright. I was going to use the ruler, but we want peeps to know that this is round, not flat. And I forgot to Google how to shade balls, or spears, I guess. Spheres would be a better description. Okay, flip this. This isn't going to line up perfectly, but it doesn't really matter because you erase the pencil once the pen's dried. And since it's a blue balls, we're going to do blue ink. And now we get to see just how good the flow on this is. Make a couple of circles. And that is indeed blue. It's a little darker blue than your typical pen like a Bic, but it's actually more purpley, but it is what it is. Oh, let's fucking move. Okay. Let's see what we got here. And we'll just do, and it's fucking skipped. So this definitely did better during the test than it is here. Now this is blue balls, but it's not, as everybody knows, salami is reddish. So that's what we're gonna make the salami. Don't get fucking caught. It's more of a fucking ruler than a pen. Honestly, this pencil is darker than I'd like. Normally, if I was inking, I wouldn't use sketching with a pencil to ink. I wouldn't use a 2HB. I'd use a 2H, which is much harder and lighter because it's showing through and it might not erase very well. But hey. And we're going to switch to black for the label. And black works really well for inking over pencil because it's a nice dark color that will override. Oh, it fucking skipped again. I think just for plain writing, the pens here worked very well when I tested it for that. But for inking over pencil, not so good. Would not recommend this for inking. Get a rollerball, or even better, a fountain pen or a dip pen. So we're going back to black. And we're just going to ink this without pencil. So of course, I'm running out of space here, so I have to make this super narrow now. So I'm probably misspelling this too. And this is a hard Sony. And we're going to do a deliberate misspell here in the title. See. And again, back to blue. All caps, because when you're doing comic-y stuff, it's always all caps. Yeah, I like this in a little test I did. It seemed to write a lot smoother, but I was just using letter paper, and maybe that's less catchy, I don't know, than this type of paper. Although, like I said, it doesn't give me problems when I'm using markers, fountain, or nib pens, or roller balls. But I mean, this thing was under $10. If you look it up online, it seems to go between like 5 and 8. So I think being your typical ballpoint, hopefully it dries like really fast, so I don't wind up wrecking the whole thing by smudging it. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this looks almost black here. In fact, it does look black, but it's not. It's blue. I mean, you can. It's a little more obvious here in the writing. So now it's. Stop tipping up. That's so annoying. Fuck you. Okay, go back to red here, thicken this up a little bit. Single pencil, get rid of that. And we'll make the band that holds a twisty end of the salami black. About to ink that, but no big deal. And we'll try a little shading on the salami. Normally I shade with pencil, but fuck it. This is coming out kind of shitty. It's a combination of lack of talent from the artist and just the tool is not that great. So this salami basically looks like I got crap barfed out of a dog's ass. Not good, not good, not good, not good, not good. But hey, that's fucking life. Normally shade with pencils, you get much better gradation. Just not good with ink shading. You should try to gradiate with cross-hatching, but it's just not working very well for me. And we'll shade this. Well, a little bit of black to the edges. And maybe this. Some artists who used to say, when in doubt, black it out. I think for this, I'm just going to cheat. Add in a little bit of pencil shading to get it lighter and just a little bit more rounded appearance, at least from this point. Do add a little more pencil in there, and if that will help or make it worse, who knows. Honestly, if I wasn't limiting myself just to this, I'd probably use some colored pencil rather than ink to shade this. So anyway, I remember way back when I had the Bics, which, like I said, they only had 4 colors. They didn't have a mechanical pencil. I don't think I ever wrote with that very much. I used to use it more as a fidget toy. So I'll push this down, push this up, push down, push up. So, I'm going to do a little internet research under shading a spear. Okay, here we go. Newtown Tonight. So I don't fuck this up too much. Okay, so it's kind of a moon type shading. So let's see, go back here. But how to shade a double sphere is a little more confusing. But we need to go back to blue. So spear. Nice and solid in the back. And we'll try to get some kind of gradation. This is very difficult for me. I'm just not used to working with inks outside of outlining. Usually I do all my shading in pencil. That's why I tend to do a lot of black and white stuff. get that blotch there. This type of pen usually doesn't blotch, but what the fuck. I'll fix that in GIMP. And a little watch. Stop riding up. Don't you make my blue balls blue. And I'm not really getting a great round look to this. But there you go. It's because I suck at ink shading, which is becoming more and more and more and more obvious. Up. Okay. And we'll just make this other one really light so you can tell it's two balls. Even though technically it's not proper shading. Maybe I'll make this a little darker here, but not too much. Stop flipping up. Oh, that is driving me nuts. Okay. Okay, this is for Reddit bad art. And I gotta say, it fits the bill. It's pretty bad art. And one thing, I'm gonna be happy if I just don't get any fucking mic clicks. I mean, if I don't get that, I'll consider this a success, no matter how kind of crappy this is. So this is the end. Bum, 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 bum.